Happy Friday, everybody. It's Chamber Check-In time. And today I am with founder of Hoopla, Christina Mag. Hi, Christina.
Hi, how are you?
I'm terrific. Thanks for taking a little bit of time with me today. I can't wait to share more about you and your story and your business. That's what these Chamber Check-ins are designed for. But first, I got to thank our series sponsor for these check-ins. It's Delta Dental of Idaho. And Christina, you know Delta Dental. They're Idaho's uh, leading
I
dental
use
insurance.
dental.
Yeah, yeah,
As an entrepreneur, I use them for my family's dental insurance.
that's awesome. And that's why they partner with us. Again, their dental insurance benefits are designed and backed by the largest network of dentists in the country. And
Mm-hmm.
with that, I get to show a fun factoid from their Tooth Truth series. Here we
Okay.
go.
Hey, did you know that the Statue of Liberty's mouth is 3 feet wide? That's a serious set of chompers.
I wonder what the toothbrush looks like.
I think that's Heather at Delta Dental. They're one of my clients. So I love everyone over there. They're great. And their new offices, their remodel's really beautiful.
I can't wait to see it. Christina, you've been a member for a few years now with the Chamber, and what a great opportunity to share what Hoopla is all about. So why don't you get us up to speed? Where did you come from? What's your history of work? And
Sure.
then how and why did you start Hoopla?
Okay. So I have a background in corporate America. Before I started Hoopla, I probably spent about 10 to 15 years as an executive assistant, and then later kind of transitioned to marketing for wellness for Micron. So my last corporate job was with Micron. I started off as their executive assistant in HR, and then transitioned before I left to help with marketing their health and wellness programs internally. And so at that position, as well as I was with Morgan Stanley Investment Banking before Micron. I was tasked a lot with procuring branded merchandise, whether it's for like new hires or like maybe an event or employee recognition. And I never really understood the ins and outs of it. And so 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to kind of change careers and learn about the swag branded merchandise, kind of the back end of it. And I was kind of ready for a change. And so I, kind of learned the ropes, and I realized that my husband's an entrepreneur, and he was like, you should just start your own company because you know how you would have liked to be dealt with. And I take a lot of my experience as being a buyer as how I approach kind of being a partner in procuring it for my clients now. So I think that really makes a difference because I was a buyer for so long. And really my end goal is to make sure that your marketing dollars and your marketing strategy is going to get you the most ROI, meaning I'm not just, if you tell me of an event that you have coming up or a giveaway, I'm going to ask like some really some really pointed questions like, what's your demographic? Is there a call to action? And some other questions so that I can really curate some items for you to select from for your event or your campaign versus giving you those top 10, just, blanketed top sellers that oftentimes get thrown away, to be honest with you.
No, absolutely. Well, I bet you that makes you a better marketer being on the other side where you're a buyer. That is always the best case scenario, right? So I'm glad you started your business. So what is Hoopla? And how did you come up with the name?
So when I was coming up with the name, I, just literally made an Excel sheet of names. And when I was coming up with the name, I noticed that when I was a buyer and just, kind of learning about the industry, almost, I would say 90% of all of the merchandising companies have merch, promo, promotions. They have that word in their name, and I didn't like that. I don't know why, but it sounded like it cheapened what I was doing because I want people to be excited about the branded merchandise they're getting. And so I really wanted a short name that could be easy to remember. It could mean a lot of things, so you're kind of wondering what it is. And it could also look really nice branded versus a really long name.
Right.
And so I'd come up with a few names, and then when Hoopla kind of popped up in my list, it made sense because it's about branded merchandise kind of causing a hoopla and making your event kind of or your campaign noticeable.
I often wonder what those specific items are that that promote a brand. How many things stand the test of time? And I'll give an example. We had a golf tournament a few years ago, and actually Delta Dental provided this bag. It was a gift bag, and it had their logo on it, but it was a waterproof bag that that I use almost every time I'm on the river. Right, you put your phone and you put your keys in there, your wallet in there, and it's a waterproof bag. And I thought that was a really good idea. That isn't, like you said, a throwaway item. What kind of items are you seeing now that are being more impactful to mutually benefit the end user and the buyer giving it to the user?
So the technical term for the bag you're referring to is called a dry bag. And right. those are great giveaways. They're not super expensive, but they're also super useful for people that, live in Boise, especially once the summer hits. And so basically what I kind of try to do when I'm coming up with a giveaway is I kind of think about the demographic. If it's going to be more women receiving the gift, I do kind of curate some different items. If it's kind of going to be both genders, then I think about it that way. Also, is it meant to be used at work? Is it meant to be used during leisure? So I'll show you a couple items I just grabbed quickly. But the Inn at 500, they were doing a Christmas gift a couple years ago, and we came up with these, and they're really great for Boise because they're silicone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can pack them in your backpack or whatever when you're going, camping, or if you're going on a hike and then you want to bring a bottle of wine or champagne or something. So these are really great.
Those are my hot tub cups.
Oh, do you use those? You have these specific ones?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Aren't they great?
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They don't break.
And then I do a lot of self promo, meaning like items that I love to give to, like when I go for a meeting with a client for the first time, or just for my regular clients when I pop in to talk to them about something, I'll bring them new items. And this one always gets a really good response. And you're like, what is this?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a desktop cornhole, and it's not super expensive. I don't know if you can see it. Holds.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And people just love it. And it could be a good giveaway. It could also be a way to draw people to your booth if you're at a conference and then give them away. Or it could even be fun to give it as part of a welcome to our company gift, if that matches your corporate culture. Yeah. I did come from a background in wellness, so I really like something like this, which is like a bento box and kind of encourages, it has that sustainability. So that is a hot trend right now. It has, the sustainability, it's made out of recycled wheatgrass, has the bamboo top, promotes wellness and all that. So I would say that's a big trend, is sustainable products and health and wellness, self-care, especially with COVID happening for the last 2 years. There's been a big push on like a work-life balance. Like a lot of companies like to give something to remind their employees that they care and want to encourage that work-life balance. This was a really fun one for the summer, and you might have gotten one at an event, but it's basically a magnetic koozie. Oh. So what's cool about that is if you go camping or you're tailgating or you're at the river and you have something like a metal chair or something, you can just, I don't know if will it stick here? Oh yeah, it will stick here. So that is a fun little giveaway. We've done these at some golf events, and when they send me pictures, the clients send me pictures, they've stuck them to the side of the golf carts with a bottle of water.
Right.
So, I mean, I could go on and on. Of course, we have the masks that, everyone kind of did a couple years ago. Now it's kind of dwindled. But It really, I think that's where I differ from a lot of companies. I don't just give blanketed items as suggestions. I really take the time to curate what I'm recommending for each event and each campaign and each brand, because every brand has a different kind of story behind it.
Well, another thing that I noticed that kind of sets you apart is your professional services. I'm just going to read a few of them, and if you want to expand,
Sure.
absolutely a consultant for your brand, in-house decoration, in-house design for like your residential homes, human resources programs, trade shows and conferences. That's going to be really big as we start getting back into 2022 trade shows and businesses wanting to exhibit. Employee recognition.
Mhm.
Wow, that's more important than it ever has been. Onboarding kits. You mentioned that before, and I think that goes hand in hand with hiring of new people, and it shows the care that a business has for that new employee coming in, making them feel welcome. Obviously, client gifts, overseas production. That's interesting. You may have to talk a little bit about that. Company stores, right? Branded items, right? It's always nice to give a bottle of wine to somebody, and if you can have your logo on it, it's even more direct, right? Direct mail. I had no idea did that. Corporate sponsorships, printed materials, and branded uniforms and apparel. Wow, you've got a lot of stuff going on, Christina.
Yeah. I can do it all. I think a lot of times when people first start working with me, because I give such a high level of customer service and kind of like, unique offerings for each individual client, people start kind of thinking of me as, oh, she only does the higher end stuff or the really nice stuff. If you want a pen, I'll get you a pen.
Right.
If you want signage for your next event, I can do that. I can do pretty much anything you can think of. You just have to ask. And so that's why that list is so robust. I come from an HR background, so I'm familiar with, kind of standing up some HR programs, whether that's recognitions, milestones, new hires, all of that stuff. And so, I basically do it all. And the in-house decoration, I did want to talk about that real quick. So during COVID, we, outsourced a lot of our deco, but we would manage the process for you. So you wouldn't ever need to do anything but approve a proof, and then it will be delivered to your door. During COVID, we struggled a lot with being on other people's timelines and price increases because people didn't have enough workers or whatever the case may be. And so we did invest in some in-house decoration machines, which is, I was late joining when I first joined because I was doing some embroidery for one of my clients, Bluebird Health, and they just had a few bags that they wanted done. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to multitask. So I was doing some embroidery for them. So yeah, we do that in-house so that we can help you guys out when you kind of have those last minute projects, which always come up. Hey, I need, 100 shirts in a week, and I don't want to charge you that rush charge, that a lot of outside decorators would charge. So it's a way to control that. Also, my website, a new feature, and I'm scrolling down, a new feature on the main site is called the Design Studio, which is really cool. And you can hit start creating, and you can look for, different types of graphic design that might make sense. Like if you're doing, let's say, a Christmas party, or if you're doing a summer barbecue or something for your company, you can type in barbecue, and then all these designs will come up. You can click on it, and then you can put a note to me saying, can we add my logo and change the colors to green and white or whatever it is? And then I'll get an email. I'll be able to design it for you and contact you, and you'll already have your, custom graphic design done for your next event.
I love it.
Yeah.
What is a good timeline now? Let's say I have an event at the end of February. Well, how early do people need to order from you? Are you experiencing those shipping delays as well?
So yes, everyone's experiencing supply chain issues, shipping delays. They're not picky over in Long Beach on which containers you're getting through or not. So, my regular clients all kind of know It's really best to start working 6 weeks before your in-hand date, which is a common term I'll use, which is the date you need the items by. 6 weeks is, I say, the bare minimum. If you can be proactive, let's be proactive, because stock issues are just nuts. And you don't want to have to also, if you're on a tight timeline, it narrows what you can choose from, but it also, if you have to pay rush charges or overnight shipping, is killer. Like the pricing for overnight shipping is. So I always say, if you know about something, get on it with me right away. We'll get through it. And then you can just sit back and relax. But all my clients know, and people come to me regularly, it's very normal in my business to say, Christina, I need something in 2 weeks. I'll get you some options. I won't get you as many options probably, but we'll be able to try to, pull it off for you.
Right. Hey, with the last couple of minutes we have, what else would you like to educate your potential customers on, and me and the listeners about Hoopla?
Well, it's woman owned, and it's, I know a lot of companies right now do have a focus with diversity and inclusion. I am half Chinese, so it's minority owned as well. It's not a franchise. I get a lot of times people think this is a franchise. I started this business by myself in 2019 of November. So we're going on two years and some change. I truly care about being a solutions partner, a problem solver for you, making it an easy process for my clients. It doesn't have to be hard. It's almost like I'm a personal shopper. And so, I think giving me a try, you'll see the difference. And, I love what I do.
We can tell, Christine, it's always good to have you at our events. Your brand matches your personality and your quality of the way you present yourself. It's elevated, Christina, and thank you for being a chamber member and investing in us as well.
Oh, one last thing I'll say is, we had kind of talked about this on email. If you do the whole Instagram thing or LinkedIn thing or social media thing, follow me on Instagram. It's Hoopla Boise. You can go to my website actually and see all of my my social tags that you can click on and add, or follow me on LinkedIn. I really want to start doing some giveaways on some custom apparel to get people excited about using the design studio. So I think if you want to follow me, then you can be up to date on like trends. I do a lot of trend reports. I do a blog. I do a YouTube series twice a month.
Wow.
And so follow me on social so you know what's going on. And it's to start a project with me is as easy as going to my website in the top right corner. There's a start a project button, and you just click it and it'll send me an email and we can start working on something. I
love it. Christina, happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for carving out a little time to share about Hoopla.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.